It's just putting something positive, letting them know that someone there who cares about them, someone who'll be there for them. And I told all my kids, there's about 50 of them, I told all these kids, my door will never close on you. I don't care where I'm at. I'm only a phone call away. My name's Noelene Lever, born and bred at Fingal, near Tweed Heads. Got involved with a lot of workers from the legal service in our struggle for Fingal when the multinationals wanted to take the land from us. And that's when I met Charlie Perkins and we went on a campaign. And from there, got to know some from the Lyle Munro and Paul Coe. And I decided that I would like to pursue working with the legal service when I heard about it. And so I used to do voluntary, go down to Grafton, that was the closest office, drive to Grafton and spend a couple of days in Grafton just to learn all about it. That would have been that would have been about 72. And then my husband was killed in a car accident in 76, early 76, and that's when I moved to Sydney. Paul said if I wanted to move down there, there was a job there. And that was the time of the Royal Commission. To work there and go into the Malawa, to the women's prison, to interview inmates there. You know, we just sort of worked in together with the Menfield Offices. Yeah, I used to visit both the men's jails and the women's, plus go into the kids' institutions, and if any of the children were going to court, if the parents couldn't make it, would you go to court with them to give them that support? And with the women, go and visit them and sort of be a link up between them and the family and their children. In the men's jail, sometimes if there was a breakdown with communication between husband and wife, I'd take the children out on the weekend to do a visit with the other parent. Things like that I used, as well as going to court, interviewing clients. Solicitors used us as a go-between, like some of the women mightn't want to speak to them on their own, or they might want to get a psychiatrist to evaluate them before going to court, and they might say no, so they'd get me to go in and talk to them about it. And if they wanted me there, well, I'd go out and sit with her, while I think it's really important, especially where the children are concerned. It's a loss of a parent there. And because I fostered a lot of kids too, I saw that there was a need for that connection, and so it'll be healthy for the children to have that mum role, and they still can visit their father, and that bonding is still there with the father. With a lot of the mothers, they sort of felt down, and sometimes some were from the country, and same with the men, some was from the country, and they didn't have visitors because family couldn't make it down. So you were sort of a go-between, and to keep up their morale and, help them along the way. Paul Coe, he was running of the office. Cecil was a field officer, so was Billy Craigie, Lyle, myself. Bev was the secretary there, Bev Coe. The Children's Service is a spin-off from the legal service. They saw there was a need for a special service for the children. Cable Air was administrated there first, I think for 12 months, and then after, and Paul and them asked me would I do the administration of it, and I said yes. So I was there at the Children's Service for a number of years, and from there I went back to the Legal Service and worked there through to 96, when that service closed down and the other service opened, and then I was on the board of directors of the new one. It was a learning time for both, say, black and white. And what I found also is that those who came to work there, the solicitors I'm talking about, those solicitors who came to work there, they must have genuinely had an interest in helping us, because our wages was a lot lower than a private company. And those that stuck with us, you knew that they were genuine. We were one family there to help each other, to help our people, and to learn from each other. And I thought that, you know, if we sort of met halfway, that we can help each other a lot in maintaining the service, in running a good service, and providing for our people out there, because that's what it's all about. That's what the legal service is all about, is helping our people. And that's why with me, with my role, I just sort of made it my business to, whenever they came back to the office, to go and ask them how their day was, to communicate with them. Is there anything I can do? You know, is there anything you want me to help you with? If they're having problems with a client, you know, I'm willing to step up and be there. Things like that. It might be little things, but then that little things go a long way, because it helps our people to communicate better. You know, some of them, they just don't like to talk, and I thought that, well, being there for them and showing them, well, look, you can trust him. You can trust him, mate. You know, I know, and made life a bit easier. And that's how the first service was sort of how I looked at it, and how we were. As what I said is, what you do, you leave all your, if you've got something against anyone, okay, you didn't like them, so be it. But when you come to work, you've got a job here. You leave that outside the gate, and you come in and you work with them like there's nothing. There's no animosity, because you have a job to do. When you go outside the gate, that's your business. If you want to pick it up and not talk to them, that's fine. But in here, we have a job to do, and we got to do it properly, and we got to do the best of our ability to keep the service going, because the service is not for, it's for the people out there, for our people, and we want to give them the best we can. It's like family, where you're there for each other, you're there to help each other, support each other, so that you can give a better service. You know, no good just sort of standing on your own thinking, oh, what am I going to do? You're up in there, up the creek without a paddle, and you don't know where you're going. Where if you've got someone there that you can go to, you know, and make yourself available for each other, and you know that you can trust each other. And to me, they were like one big, my family, you know, black and white. Because me, I mean, everybody had their role. My role was to be out there in the community as a field officer. I was at Blacktown office for a while, running the Blacktown office. We opened up an office out there. Well, there was only myself, and there was Donna as secretary. Trevor Christian was my field officer, and I had, I think it was Kathy Ducey out there. She was one of the solicitors. And everybody had what they had to do, and we just sort of overlooked to see that everything was done, each one to their role. And it went okay. The Blacktown office went well. You know, I've got a lot of respect for the ones that have worked there. Always will. I keep in touch with them, give them a phone call now and again. Now that I've moved up here, I've invited him. You passing through, you can call him, have a cuppa. But I treasure their friendship. One of the girls who was in my care fostered, after she left me, she ended up in Reby. And I used to go down and visit them, you know, through the week. And she'd say, I was living at Macquarie Fields at that time, and she'd say, Aunt, come over on the weekend, eh? Come over and have a barbecue with us. And I said, look, I only got 2 days off, love. Give us a break. I was over twice this week. Oh, come on, Aunt, just come over. Well, what can you do? You know, her mother lived in Newcastle, and the others, their parents were, okay then, so you go. Just to give them something to, and you can see the difference, and you know, they're all smiles, and they all want to talk to you, and so it is important. I used to go to Parramatta, and there was a lot of young kids there, you know, whose families from the country, and as soon as they know that you're going there, they're all around you, and they'll come and sit over here, Aunt, you know, and they're all around you asking you questions and wanting to hear some stories, what's going on outside, and then they'll ask you, want a cup of tea? Now look after her while I'm going to make a cup of tea. And it was just being there and spending the time, see the smiles on their faces and how relaxed they were, was making it all worthwhile. And you know, you can tell them a story, and then you can sort of bring in on talking to them about doing the right thing when you come out, and you know, if you need somebody to talk to, I'll always be there. I'm only a phone call away, you know, if you've got no one else to talk to. And just let them know that they have some support, someone who cares. And I found that important because of fostering so many kids, of just letting them know, my door doesn't close, it's always open to you. I know with kids that I've taken in, kids that first started me off with my kids, bringing kids home and saying, can they stay? Well, I ended up with 8 kids in my home and 1 provider. I found that just having someone there who will listen, someone who shows them that, and tell them, because a lot of them, one kid was saying, oh, I'm dumb, I can't go back to school, you know. And he really hurt me the way he was talking. And I said, listen, love, you're special in my eyes, you're here with me, you've got everything going for you, you're not dumb, and I'd like you to work on that. I'll support you all the way. You can stay here as long as you want, and I'll help you. I'll see you through. He went on to do his HSC, and then he went and studied law. Last I heard, he was on his 3rd year studying law. And I bumped into him one night. I was on the board of directors of the housing company. We were going out for dinner. It was Christmas time. And I was just going into this restaurant, and he came along and he grabbed me. And he said, Mum, and I said, oh, hi. I mean, I wasn't mum, you know, I was foster mum. I said, how are you, love? And he says, guess what? I said, what? He said, I'm in my 3rd year of law. I said, I love you. I said, I'm so proud of you. And I gave him my phone number. I said, ring me sometime. And so, you know, it's just putting something positive, letting them know there's someone there who cares about them, someone who'll be there for them. And I told all my kids, there was about 50 of them, I told all these kids, my door will never close on you. I don't care where I'm at. I'm only a phone call away. And if we can sort of help our kids that way, you know, before they get to let them know. I wish I can get out there and do a bit more. I miss the legal service. I loved working there. I got on with the people because I was always taught from growing up. You get in, you do your work. Do what you have to do. When you've worked all your life and then you all of a sudden stop, it's boring. It's really boring. No, I just like doing things on the side. I'm not a speaker. I can't get out and stand up in front of a crowd of people and, but I can sit around and have a yarn. I'd rather be in the background doing the dirty work and let someone else do the talking. But I really enjoyed the legal service because I could see a lot of people who cared, who gave their all, and working with, and it was learning time for me as well, learning from others. Because where I lived up home, we were sort of isolated and we didn't know about the big world out there. Never been past Tweed Heads and that's only across the river, and then to come out in this big world, it was a big learning time for me. Plus my kids, they're all in Sydney.